Hi, welcome to The Secret Life of Therapist. I'm your host, Dr. Habiba Zaman, and I have Kaylan Maloney here with me today.
We're
Thank
back.
you for joining me
Yes.
and having these conversations.
It's always so great. I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's awesome.
Good, good. And as we've talked about before, this is unscripted, undocumented, unedited, just kind of free for all thought process of what we go through, what we've endured, what we see when we look at the world,
Yeah.
and how different topics show up.
Mhm.
So, um, as always, thank you for indulging us and listening to us. And perhaps you can find something of value of
Yeah.
our experiences. That's the whole point of this. A sneak peek into our lives and our delusions and
A way of living, I guess.
our way of living,
Yeah.
what we struggle with. I obviously I started this for that very reason, but it is
Mhm.
something I'm very passionate about because we look to our professionals and we think they have it all together, and I wish I could be like that, and we don't.
At all.
We don't. And the largest premise in what we're doing in this podcast is to show you that we really don't.
No, sometimes we're still learning in the moment as we're doing it.
As we're doing it. Right.
Still learning.
That is, I think I've told you before that that's one of my biggest flexes is
Yeah.
I use my romantic relationships of the how-to of what not to do.
Yes.
And some people learn on their first try, and the stubborn ones like me, I learned the hard way, the very, very hard way. So welcome and thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
So today we wanted to talk about society and where we are, kind of politically, kind of socially,
Yeah.
all the things that we're struggling with, and the anxiety, the heaviness. I did another podcast a couple of months ago where he had asked me, what is your greatest struggle as a therapist right now?
Wow. What a question.
And I just got the edits back and it's live, but I don't watch any of the things I do because I don't want to.
Yes.
But I remember asking him, like, I hope you want the truth.
Yeah.
Because that's what you get from me.
That's all I'm going to give you. I only have it.
My truth and not some pretty version of it.
Yes.
And my answer, and this was in November, towards the middle or end of November, that I did this podcast with Michael. And my answer was the anxiety of sitting there with the drama and the trauma that everybody is experiencing collectively.
Yeah.
It's heavy, and we have that as well, and how to navigate it while giving everybody else hope is exhausting.
Yeah.
Right? To acknowledge and authenticate the experience of our clients, of our friends, of our family members, while also being their cheerleader.
Yeah.
Right? Being like, yeah, and but look at this and this and this is happening, and there's small progresses that are being made, and all these things where I also just kind of want to curl up underneath a rock and dissipate.
Yeah, I do have clients who are like, you're so optimistic. I'm like, I'm like, for you, I am for you. But yeah, like when I'm close up and go home, even on the ride home, I'm just like, what am I going to do with this? How am I going to deal with this? What is it going to do with this? And again, it's not that it's total honesty. Like we're totally honest with the clients and honest with ourselves, and everybody's situation is a little similar to some degree.
But we don't get to spiral.
No,
as
when we
they're
take
spiraling.
it home, we have to figure out how to package it properly because we have to come back the next day and the next day and do 5 and 6 clients like each day when everybody's having the same problem. It's like, I'm like fried. My brain sometimes I'm really like holding back like tears, like as we're going through it, and I'm like, I cannot cry in front of my clients. Like what? But I'm still human. And it is still a reality. My feelings are what they are. And as I'm trying to help them process, as one of those moments in real time, we're both processing. So it does it does become a pretty significant challenge. I don't think you really ever like master it, because otherwise you would be shutting off your feelings, and then that's not being true either.
Do they call you out on it?
If I'm like teary-eyed?
No, I guess so. In the beginning, right, of every session, it's just like, hey, how's it going?
Mm-hmm.
How have things been?
Yeah.
And they're like, like, it's good, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
And how are you? And I'm like, I've
Yeah.
had clients call me out. I'm like,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Mm-hmm.
their sunshine. And they're like, oh my God, Habiba,
Yeah.
you are trying so hard to be okay. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I am.
Yeah.
But I'm not. Yeah, no, I don't know if I am, because it's a dumpster fire
Mm-hmm.
outside. Or if things have actually been a dumpster fire,
Yes.
right? To acknowledge that. And anytime I try to minimize it, especially in the beginning, my voice does like this weird cracky,
Yeah.
pubescent kind of shift.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like,
Yeah.
okay. Don't know if I believe you, Habiba.
Mm-hmm. I think what you pointed out to me the other day, where I'll just disconnect, which is one of my like avoidant traits. I'll just cut it right off, and I'm like, nope, totally good. Yes, great. And they're like, is it? And I was like, so when my grandfather passed away, I'm like working, and I'm like, oh my god, hi, how are you today? And I'm like in between, and it was just so hard. Like it was just
Yes.
so hard. But and I can tell sometimes, I know sometimes my clients are like, are you really? But they feel like they can't really ask. And I'm like, no, it's okay. We just had a death in the family, so we're just working through it. And they're like, do you really want to do this today? And I'm like, no, I fucking don't. I want to cry all day, but I got to be here for you. So like, it's a very, I think that's something I'm still learning as well, of
Yeah.
what is the balance for me of how do I take care of myself, but also still be present for my clients, and not feel this immense guilt, especially when I know clients are going through very heavy things as well, especially if we're both experiencing a loss. Oh my God. I'm like, well,
but
I
I think
gotta.
that's where the true connection happens.
Yeah.
Obviously, we can't be like, let me dump my stuff on you and then
Yes.
you take care of me kind of thing.
Right.
But I think modeling and even sharing, like, no, I'm struggling, and using the this and part that we teach, right?
Yeah.
Like, yes, I am devastated, I'm sad, I'm grieving, and I'm here present for you, and I can be excited for you, and I can do all these things. And it's not necessarily denying one or the other, it's just kind of accepting both.
Yes.
Right. And which is very hard to do.
Yeah.
Learning that you can have two realities simultaneously existing in time and space.
Yeah.
And being able to switch back and forth, because that's part of adulting.
I was gonna say that's kind of life, because we have to keep living, we have to keep doing things, and so things will happen. We're gonna have our feelings, we're gonna have to deal with them, and still do the thing. So it doesn't even matter what you have. You can have a pet, like you still have a responsibility.
Yeah.
So you have these things that you have to take care of, and you have to go to work, you have to pay the bills, you have to do the kid, like have to. So sometimes you're having to cry as you're going to work. Like it's just where it is.
And it's just pausing long enough to recognize both. I think that's because I called you out on dissociating. And one of the telltale signs of that, because I'm the queen of that, which is why I run into things and I have bruises everywhere. I'm like, what is happening? It's because I'm not present. I'm not in my body. I'm checking out so I can get to the next thing. It's survival mode. But being able to check back out of it. And what I noticed in her, what she's talking about, is that her voice went flat. She's telling me all the things that are happening, but her voice was completely flat.
Yeah.
You had checked out of the emotion center completely. And we do that so often, but we never come back.
Yeah.
Right. And there's a difference between dissociating in the moment, right? One of my clients, she put it beautifully: parking your face and going visiting elsewhere. I was like, girl,
that's very nice.
Yes.
Yeah. I like that.
What a beautiful way to say it, because that's exactly what it is.
It is that.
It seems like we're present, but we're actually in la la land somewhere else, in order not to fully experience what's happening, the difficult moment that we're happening right now.
Yeah.
But it becomes detrimental. We all do this. It's a defense mechanism. Everybody does it.
Yes.
But it becomes detrimental when you never come back in.
Yeah.
When you never check back in with yourself. If you never take that moment to process through how this day went, how that moment went, how whatever. And nobody wants to do that.
Right.
I don't want to do it. Especially, again, when we're in this kind of anxiety-ridden existence, right? No one wants to check back in. It's very, very difficult.
Yeah. And but I do have a lot of people in general, even my family, are like, "Well, who do you go to when you're in trouble?" And I'm like, my rug. Like I just don't, there's nothing. I'm just here. But no, like of course, like therapists have therapists, doctors have doctors. Like we have you that we
Yes.
go to.
And it's sometimes it's mandated, especially if you do trauma work.
Yes, it really is. And you don't recognize sometimes that some of that you carry it home with you, and so you need some type of outlet, some type of other support there. And so I think the work that we do, we have to be very careful with who we disclose things to and like how
Yeah.
close we are within our relationships, because what we experience, whether it be through us directly or just again, like sometimes it's even just vicarious through or just like a transference of clients of how do we deal with these emotions and we go home with them. It's not like I can just talk and be like, oh my gosh, today was just so tough. And like this, we don't have that type, because it really does take a certain person to be able to do the work, and let alone be a friend of that person, to where they can know that you have that support without them like trying to ask more questions, like just know how to be there. And it's hard to do when you're talking about like today was just really rough, and of course we're not talking about client issues or anything. It's just knowing that
How it impacted
we've
us.
really worked through some heavy things
Yeah.
today, and like now I gotta go home and be a cheerleader. Like I don't want to do it. I'm so tired.
Right.
It's very hard.
You know, I have friends that have asked me who are not in this field, who are not in this profession. My guy friends, they're like, "Do you have anything left to give your partner when you get home?" And I was like, 100%.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yes, because what I'm going through at work, it's heavy, it's this, it's that. But my home life is my reprieve."
Yeah.
Right? Like it's supposed to be,
Mm-hmm.
which is why when it's not, it kind of all goes to shit.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? And it's like a double whammy. It's like on both cheeks. But that's what it is. A lot of couples who have come to me for couples therapy, one of the things is like, well, he's too stressed or she's too this, or there's too much going on, or there's too much on my mind.
Yes.
And having to teach them to compartmentalize, which is another defense mechanism, but is necessary so that everything just doesn't bleed
Yes.
as an overarching blanket, right? Again, this day and age, specifically right now, I I was telling my friend, my word is formidable, right? And I told her, and she was like, "It's formidable, right?" She checked in because she makes those the pretty version of the word to put on my board,
Oh, okay.
right? So love you, but nurture was not my favorite, and it's not anymore. But I struggle with. I'm like, am I gonna throw this away? Because I just couldn't manage it.
Yeah.
In 2025, nurture was such a struggle for me.
Yeah.
It's right there actually. The word, you see it peeking out because I contemplate throwing it away, but I can't. She spends so much time and energy making these for me,
but
and I
it
love
will
it.
come to you when it's time.
Right. It's just like 2020 was rest. Not the year for rest.
Yeah.
But that's why I think she was checking in, like, if formidable is still the word, right? I was like, yes, even though raging bitch has kind of been more like it. She was like, explain.
Yeah.
And she's all about the drama. She's like, I want to know, like, again, she's one of those beautiful friendships I've had for a long time. And she gets so excited when the toilet paper is not in the roll in my bathroom. Yeah. Because she's like, you don't have it all together. I'm like, no, I don't.
Do not.
Whatsoever.
Do not.
And so she's like, no, tell me about how you're losing your shit, because it makes her feel normal.
Yeah.
Right. And as she's learning to deal with all of her things. And so, for 10 years, it's been like that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's great. But I was like, yeah, it literally, that's what it is. I feel like I'm a raging bitch right now with all the things that I feel so helpless about, that I can't change, that I can't impact, that I can't do anything about.
Yeah.
And then there's what you brought up earlier. What is it about having all of this stuff kind of bombard you from every angle in your existence,
Yeah.
right? All of these pressures, stressors, whatever. And then something else happens and then you have to protect your peace.
Yeah.
Like we hear that a lot.
Too much for me. I'm really just
Tell me.
I let the media do what the media does, but sometimes the media is just so oversaturated. And I
with all
think
these trigger words.
yes, and then the word trigger itself. It's just always
Yeah.
something that's just like everybody is now a theorist and like a psychologist and a doctor and a medical professional of some degree. And I just have all this information. I'm just gonna tell you all these different things, and it's like, ugh. And so when I hear it, I'm protecting my peace. I'm like, what does that mean for you? Well, I'm just not letting people bother me. And how are you doing that? Because unless you're like, I don't know, Mother Mary, that's not possible. Things are going to bother you. People are going to bother you because you have feelings. And again, unless you're cutting off your feelings, people and things will bother you. If you're walking out the door because you're in a rush and like you twist your ankle coming down a step, you're mad as hell. You're annoyed. Things will bother you out of your control or in your control. So when it's like I have to protect my peace, I'm like, okay, and do what? Because if the answer is I'm just gonna not let people get on my nerves, and how do you plan to do that?
Well, I think that's a yes and a no, right? I think there are people who have been lifelong codependent people, like me, right? Where everything was about making sure the other person is taken care of and loved and they know that they matter. And the focus is always on their
well-being,
healing and well-being over mine.
Yeah.
I think learning to protect your peace is a very, very challenging and it's a courageous act.
Yeah.
Right. And there are times where you have to learn how to shut things down, cut things off, again, with limits and boundaries. A limit is, you can't do that.
Yes.
Which we cannot control. But telling somebody a limit like that is also necessary.
Yeah.
Right. And a boundary is, I'm going to do this.
Yes.
So it's this barrier, right? The limit is on that side where what they can and cannot do with you. And then the boundary is, if this happens, I will then whatever, in order to protect your peace, because the peace has been like non-existent your whole life, which was my thing. My conversations with my ex, for example, it is just what it is. I had to distinguish the difference between, okay, what is protecting my peace? What is being avoidant? What is, I'm going to make sure you know every pinpoint detail of why what you did was wrong and harmful and blah, 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 blah. Right? More of this, let me teach you so that you don't do this again, which is just another pretty little bow of setting a limit, because I can't control what they're going to do.
Right.
So which one of those things versus, it is genuinely, I'm going to protect myself. I'm going to protect my peace.
Which I think it's an absolutely necessary practice. But I think because it is just overly used and now it's just overgeneralized, it's just across every single piece of life. It's people go about it without the boundaries, and they think they're setting boundaries, but you're really not setting the boundaries. So it's just like so you make me upset, and now you're cut off. That's not how that really works. Like depending on what it is. Do you think it's being
used as an excuse to not confront life?
I think it can be. Okay. I think it can be used. I think it has been, I should say, used in that way of like, I don't want to deal with that, so nope, preserve my peace. And it's like, well, some things you can't avoid, some things you really shouldn't avoid. And so, how do we know the difference between let's like,
which ones do you do?
Avoidance or ensuring that you hear this argument? So I used to be I'm gonna make sure you hear this argument, because it was like my thought was the outcome would be they would care and they would change. Respect me and they would change. So then it was
it's
like
education. I'm teaching you why this, that, and the other.
This is why it's important.
I'm not arguing necessarily to be aggressive or to win.
Yeah.
I have no need to win.
No. My ego there is like, because I'm always right. But very much like, I know it's most important to me is, do you understand?
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand why it's important? So it used to be a lot of that for me, because I felt like, I don't know, just I guess past traumas, I already didn't feel valuable or valued. So it was like, I need to show you like why this is important, because I am worthy of blah blah blah.
But that's also part of the correct way to apologize. If someone doesn't tell you, I understand why this was wrong and why this was hurtful, you can't trust that they won't do this to hurt you again.
Yes.
So again, people who kind of like beat it over the head, which for me, like I said, unfortunately with the wrong people, there's 26 email threads back and forth because it's used and weaponized against you.
Yeah. And you're caught in it very quickly because you're still in this space of, no, like, you're wrong. I have to tell you, you're wrong. I need to explain.
Let me show you.
You're still misunderstanding. And so it was a very big kind of point for me when I was misunderstood.
Yeah.
Over time, I've gotten more to this place of I guess more of a filtration system. So I kind of decide who deserves how much and what. So I'll give you the information. If I'm upset or if you're upset at me, we'll talk it through. And that's it for me, though. I don't have any more after that.
And that's the protecting the peace.
So,
I said my piece.
And that's it for me.
And then I don't need to continue to convince you.
No. And there's no badgering. I'm not badgering them. They're not badgering me. There isn't a, well, I mean, because you did this and you did. We already acknowledged what was done. We'll take the accountability. We're going to apologize if it's necessary and do the necessary work to keep the relationship going and just move on through whatever the hump was. But I'm not a person that we're just going to keep talking about discernment. I need you to shut the fuck up. We've already discussed it. If you're still upset, take your time, be upset. I'm not upset about that because things linger. You need time to get over certain things. That's fine. But you're lingering it. You're dragging it. Ooh, girl, no.
The time also, neurologically speaking, is 2 hours. So if there's a disagreement, right? Yes. We have high feelings. You're very passionate. I'm very passionate. Yes. So it's gonna be loud. Right? Loud feelings. But if anybody needs a moment, like I need a break, 2 hours is max.
Yeah.
90 minutes is actually what it is. It takes that long in your brain to process through the situation that happened. Anything else, people who go days or weeks, right, with all the stonewalling, the gaslighting, the
passive aggressiveness,
right, all of that is nonsense. Yeah. That is nonsense. That is absolutely unnecessary. I get a lot of pushback on the 90-minute thing.
Yeah.
Sorry. Neurology. That's what it is.
Sometimes that's how long it takes. Put a timer on.
Which is different, though. It doesn't mean your feelings are going to go away. I'm not saying that. You're still going to be hurt. You're still going to be upset. You're still going to feel disrespected, dismissed, whatever those feelings are that led to that disagreement. But that is the time that it takes to process through that moment of recognizing this is how I'm feeling to be able to come back.
Yeah.
You might have to take another 90 minutes after that if it got heated back up again. Especially if communication skills are not there.
Yeah.
Or something else happens and then you get set off again, right? Which is the trigger. A lot of people use any kind of emotional reaction, a negative emotional reaction is, I'm triggered. No, that is not what trigger means. Trigger literally means I am so flooded with the chemicals in my brain where I cannot function and be present. There is no, lights going up here in the prefrontal cortex. All of my stuff is in the amygdala and all the fight, flight, freeze, fawn, all of that. Right? Because
I'm back in Survivor, like
right
there, and I'm holy shit. I got
again checked out. Right? Yeah. That is 100% when people dissociate and they start going back or shutting down completely. So that's not healthy or respectful of the relationship to be in that position and try to carry on a conversation. So it's necessary to be able to recognize where this is going is not beneficial.
Yeah.
We need to come back to it. What I'm trying to convey is not something you're understanding, which is not, you're an imbecile.
Right.
And I'm great. It's an accountability of the way I'm describing this is not being effective. And then also your ability to understand and receive what I'm saying is not there.
Yes.
It's dual relationship. It's not a blame game.
Yeah. And that is what oftentimes leads to the argument. So you're trying to say I'm just dumb? So you're trying to say I just don't understand what you're saying? You don't understand it though. I'm telling you in real time
because you're
we're
probably
here.
triggered because you're not sitting in a position to. This is what I teach my kids, right? You have to listen to the other person, acknowledge their perception and perspective.
You don't have to agree, just acknowledge.
Right. And then try to empathize with why they would feel that way.
Yeah.
Even if it's asinine. Which certain relationships, certain personality disorders, or even people with traits of those personality disorders, if they don't have the actual disorder, are not capable of doing.
Yeah.
We're not talking about that.
Not at all.
Those are the ones that is more of the I am protecting my peace because there's no point in this. They're not going to be able to perceive it from my perspective. However, in healthy, natural relationships, right, you can be really upset and feel that I did this, this, and this. However, if I come to you and say, I felt this way because of this situation, it is then your job to swallow the pride and try to be curious about why that person would feel this way, just to see. Because it could be the tone, it could be the lack of awareness, right? That seemed very dismissive or judgy or whatever. And try to recognize that, validate that.
Yeah.
And then, only then, can you justify your stance. And I use the word justify because at that point you really want to defend yourself without being defensive. So instead of thinking of I need to defend, you can reword that, right? Reframe that into, okay, now let me show how my reaction to this was justified for me.
That's where I dissociate. Once I that's it for me right there. Because once we're in a discussion and we're doing it, and regardless of if there's elevated voice or not, whatever, once I recognize this is becoming like a debate, or this is like it's moving in a direction it doesn't need to move in, I'm like, okay, well, in summary, this is what I'm thinking and feeling. I'm understanding this is what you're thinking and feeling. As a result of this is where we are. I think a resolution can be this and that. Like, I'm just very like, I'm hearing us all, here we are here. This is what we can do as a way to get through this. And at that point, I've dissociated because then otherwise I would be back into argument. I'm defending why I matter. And that's what I have to be very careful and very sensitive to that. So I don't do it. So by then I'm like, you know what? That's okay. So for me, I'll disassociate as a way to start the healing, I guess, for me, so that I can do a little bit at a time. Once I make sense of it, then I can deal with the feelings and then I'm good to go. But it cannot be together. Whew, no.
Oh yeah. The kids know, and you can see it from their reaction, that as long as I'm loud and blah, 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 about whatever, as annoying, as upset as they are, as frustrating as that is for them, that is still better than when I get quiet. I'm like, okay. And when they were little, they'd be like, no, mommy, no, 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 no.
Yeah.
Right? Because they know that that's not a good place.
Yeah.
Because then I've
and at that point
pushed off and protected myself. And you can feel it energetically when someone does that.
Yes. Yes.
And it's scary for people that are still looking for that connection. Unfortunately, debates and arguments, stirring the pot, is a way that a lot of people seek connection.
Yeah.
It's a very dysfunctional, I'm not saying that this is okay, it's very dysfunctional, but that's something where I would always fight back. And I'm like, why is it like this? Why are we always doing this? Why can't we just be normal? And then I realized that's literally the only way my dad knows how to connect.
Yeah.
Is if it's high energy and there's back and forth.
Yeah, we have to have some type of like active engagement in order for me to feel like, okay, good. Like, okay, so we're good.
Right.
And that's just not it. Once I'm like silent in my head, I'm spinning on how to not be left out in the 90s. Because I can just burn the whole house down. I'd be so validated. Oh my God, I could record it. I'll feel beautiful. I can get real crazy.
You're one of those like walking away memes. You know?
Yeah.
There's like a
fantastic. I'm Angela Baskin and waiting to exhale. That's me. 100%. So in order for me to be not there and continue to be more rational,
try to be healthy. Yes.
I have to sit down and I'm like, this is not, I need a minute.
It's so hard to be healthy.
It is very hard. So that's my trait. My trait is I have to walk away. and then I come back within like an hour, 30 minutes, an hour, and because my brain is flying on what is the problem here.
Right.
But I'm very quick to dissociate as a way to start that kind of healing process for me, so that I'm not.
And also not to abruptly walk away, because that's just as damaging.
Yes, I need a minute. I can't think right now. I need
so
some
communicating,
time.
I need a second.
Need some
is
moment.
so important.
Yeah.
I remember one of the struggles I'm having, as I've spoken to you and everybody else, my children are my contribution to this world. I'm trying to make sure they have healthy skills, healthy upbringing, and unfortunately, they've had to endure a significant amount of trauma at an early age, in relational trauma. And the only positive that I can come up with is, well, now you know how to deal with people like this. And then if they show up in the future, you'll know what to do.
Yeah.
Like, otherwise, I crumble because I feel like I'm a complete failure. That I couldn't protect them from that. And that I invited that for them, right? With who I chose to be in my life. And in order to do that, I don't get to be the version of myself that I was, that could protect the inner child in me, which was, my representative. Everybody has a representative. When you have something that elicits an emotional reaction, you have a representative that shows up, right? Whether it's the stoic one, right? Shut down, nothing bothers me. I wish. Or the sad, they get overwhelmed and starts crying and everything, which is, all of this is normal, by the way. It doesn't feel that way, but mine is anger. So if I'm confused, anger. If I'm sad, anger. If I'm shocked, anger. If I'm pissed off, there.
Yeah.
And that's my representative, but that's not the emotion.
Yeah.
So these, surface level emotions, these generalized emotions that we know of, right? Like someone who's cracking jokes in a serious situation, that's the representative. The angry one, representative. The sad one, representative. The shutdown one, representative. All these are your representatives. That's not the true feeling. And in order to teach my kids vulnerability, identifying emotions, showing up for yourself, showing up for others, being able to advocate for yourself, I have to go past my representative.
Yeah.
When it's so much easier to just let the representative do what she's always done, which is like, fuck you and the white horse you rode in on. I don't need you or anyone else. That is my go-to. I'm an avoidant. If you can't
I'm
pinpoint that.
Stoic immediately. I'm not this bitch. Fuck you.
Right. You're the stoic one? That's hilarious.
Very stoic. I'm disassociated. I'm not even present. I still need to say, get the fuck out of my face. So it's not good whatsoever.
Neither one is good. Right.
But
that's the representative. That's who's there to protect you.
Yeah.
Right. That's who's there to protect the inner child.
Yeah.
And then I have to show my children, by communicating what happened, why I'm upset, what the real emotions are, and then allowing myself to have tears when it's a real, I'm overwhelmed and I'm sad, or I'm disappointed, or I'm heartbroken. It's so threatening to my sense of self. Because that was the thing that would guarantee that I would be hurt.
Yeah.
So having to override this, we all do what we do for a reason.
Yes.
Right? And part of what we try to teach is, what is the reason?
Yeah.
Right? So the primary would be, I'm protecting my peace by either being stoic or being angry. Right? And it's self-directed, unfortunately. I'm angry at myself always, not at them or the situation. It's just this anger and responsibility. And then that's primary, right? That's the surface level. And then, okay, what was actually underneath that? I know I seemed angry when I responded with a flat, aggressive tone of, we just had this conversation last week. But then to communicate with them, especially, that the reason is because I feel like I just don't matter. They're not paying attention to me. We literally had this conversation last week over this struggle that I've been having. And for me to say, oh, look, and I've been doing this, and then I spent the last 3 hours doing this, for them to come back with something so dismissive where they don't even recognize that we're still talking about the same thing. that makes me feel like you just don't pay attention to me, that I don't matter.
Yeah.
But then the root cause of that is because I didn't matter enough for anybody to want me to keep me when I was a baby.
Yeah.
And I was given up.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're able to identify primary, secondary, tertiary, right? Like level 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
And then to communicate that is just like, barf. Do I really need to expose myself in this way?
Yes.
But yes, I do.
Yeah, especially if it's someone that you really care about and it's that type of relationship. Yeah. And a lot of times what you're saying, we all do things for a reason. Oftentimes people will say, oh, you're just doing it because you want to hurt me. Or you're just saying it because of this and that. And it's much deeper. Like it's different levels to it. You're usually kind of initially guided by whatever that initial kind of thing that started this whole blueprint for you. You're usually kind of started by that. And
it's always that.
The rest of it is rolling.
It's always that, because that is your subconscious blueprint. That drives every reaction.
Yeah.
Good or bad. So, yes, in order for me, with my history, for me to protect my peace would have been, we ain't doing this. And this is why I don't talk to you. This is why I don't discuss things with you. This is why, all the things to put those bricks back up.
Yeah.
And to protect myself. But that's not protecting my peace. With some people, that is 100% necessary.
Yes.
Right? People who have repeatedly shown me that not only do they not hear what I'm saying, but they don't respect it, because the thing happens again and again. Again, chances, one chance. You get one chance. That after that, if you've conveyed all of this and they still don't respect that, they're showing you who they are. Right? And in that way, to protect your peace would be like, I know you're not going to understand this, so why would I expose myself in this way where it's just going to be weaponized?
Yes.
However, most healthy relationships, how many times do you need to hear that? I need to hear it once. I need people to tell me once that when I did this, this is how it felt and this is why. I will never do that again. Or I will communicate ahead of time, like, I'm about to do this and it's not because of this, it's because of this other thing.
But that's because of your own awareness of what that can look like. And a lot of times people don't have that. They're just going with it. And it's like, oh, damn, I stepped on your foot. You didn't see my foot. That's what it kind of feels like. So meanwhile, I'm walking with my head down, making sure I don't step on feet. And so, again, how things are done, it's very different. And you don't have to talk about things right in the moment. Take the time, process, and things like that. But when we're thinking about that difference between a dissociation, protecting the peace, and like boundaries and things, it is important to consider who is it to and what is it for. And are you really trying to preserve a relationship, or are you just kind of being hard ass? Like what? And then what is it worth to you?
Right.
What that relationship or whatever that is at that point. So that's how I end up kind of taking a moment, because then I'm like, are they that important to me? Is it worth me giving them all this information?
Not everybody needs to have that access.
They do not at all, especially the third level. Fuck no. That's really only reserved for people who are, they're like permanent in your life and just very, very, very important in your life. Not everybody needs to know all the things you've gone through in your life. It's not necessary. They can just respect not stepping on your foot. They don't need to know that you've gone through deeper things. Like, no.
Right.
So kind of knowing the difference between those and using that a little bit as a filter or a little bit of a criteria of which one do I really need to do in
being
this
intentional
matter.
with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
instead
much.
of reactive.
Yeah. It's coming ways. Took a lot of practice there, guys. So don't expect it to be overnight.
No, absolutely.
Definitely takes
years of practice.
Yeah, but
it's years of practice just to understand within yourself, why am I responding to this situation the way I am, to then be able to either communicate it, choose to, or not.
Yeah.
So yeah, be patient. Give yourself grace.
Yes.
You'll get there.
Yeah. It takes time, but we'll be there. It's always good when you get to the other side. So just keep that in mind. Some progress is better than none.
Right.
So take it a little bit at a time.
Right.
Cool.
Fabulous.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.